Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 700 Club. I'm Andrew Knox, in for Gordon Robertson today. President Donald Trump, he set a deadline for Hamas to release all the hostages in Gaza. He warned that if every single captive is not freed by noon on Saturday, the ceasefire should be canceled and, quote, all bets are off.
Trump's ultimatum followed Hamas' announcement that it's delaying the release of 3 hostages that were set to be freed on Saturday. CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell has the latest.
Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office Monday, President Trump delivered a clear message about the ceasefire and hostage deal.
That's Israel's decision, but as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off, and let hell break out. All of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2.
Trump condemned the terror group for its treatment of the hostages, referring to the 3 freed on Saturday who appeared nearly starved.
It looked like something out of the 1930s. It's an absolute disgrace. And I think they saw the way the world viewed it, and they're looking for a reason not to send more.
He also issued a warning to Hamas, suggesting consequences if the hostages are not released.
You'll find out, and they'll find out too. Hamas will find out what I mean. These are sick people, and they'll find out what I mean Saturday at 12 o'clock.
Trump's warnings came after Hamas announced it would not release any captives this coming Saturday. The terror group blamed Israel for allegedly violating the ceasefire. In a statement, Hamas accused Israel of delaying the return of people to northern Gaza, targeting civilians, and failing to deliver agreed-upon relief supplies. Families of the remaining hostages expressed deep concern over the delays.
I really hope it's just like power games, and with the help of negotiations, we'll be able to agree about what is the problem and solve it, and we will be able to see more hostages getting released on coming Saturday.
The hostages are in a clear and present danger. Their lives are at risk. We saw the horror pictures of the released hostages. Those who are still in there may be in worse conditions. They simply don't have time.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is convening a security cabinet meeting to determine its next course of action. The Israeli Defense Ministry has ordered the military to prepare for any possible scenario in the Gaza Strip. Israeli Defense Minister Katz condemned Hamas's move as a complete violation of the Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal, and ordered the IDF to be at the highest level of readiness.
Chris Mitchell joins us now from Jerusalem. Chris, President Trump left it in Israel's hands whether or not to cancel the ceasefire if Hamas does not comply with his demand to release all the hostages by noon Saturday. Tough talk. I don't know what kind of position this now puts Israel in. How might they respond?
Well, Andrew, right now, they're literally meeting right now to make those decisions. Trump did give Israel some latitude, but some of the considerations they have right now, it's a very, very complicated situation. First, they have to consider the fate of the remaining hostages because it really puts them at risk right now. What does this ultimatum put them at risk? And dozens of families right now are in anguish. There's political calculations that Netanyahu has to make. Will the government hold together? There is one party that is left. His name is Ben-Gvir. Finance Minister Smotrich, he says he will leave if they don't go back to war after phase 1. So also they have to consider, are they going to complete the goals of the war to destroy Hamas, prevent them from ruling Gaza? But Andrew, the hostages are really at the center of this dilemma, which is exactly why Hamas kidnapped them on October 7th, using them as a bargaining chip and trying to divide Israeli society. Really a reminder to pray for them and pray for the wisdom for leaders here in Israel.
Yeah, and the Palestinian Authority claims it's doing away with a very controversial policy, pay to slay. For viewers who don't know, please explain what pay to slay is, and is the Palestinian Authority actually making changes?
Well, Andrew, pay to slay is simply paying terrorists and their families for terror attacks. They're literally paid on a scale. The greater attack, the greater the payment. So a terrorist could land in jail for years and years and actually make more money than they would be out of jail. despite the announcement by the Palestinian Authority, really nothing has changed. And what it is cosmetic changes, Andrew, literally just shifting payments from one account to another. The policy stays in effect. It's all just cosmetic. We talked to Itamar Marcus from the Palestinian Media Watch. He says that Mahmoud Abbas really cannot not pay the families and their terrorists because that would spark a revolution. And believe it or not, Andrew, over 700 terrorists were freed in the first phase, and they were paid more than $140 million while in jail.
Incredible number. Chris, President Trump and the King of Jordan are meeting in the Oval Office today. The king has pushed back on Trump's call to take in Palestinians from Gaza, but Trump is not backing off, of course. What's the latest, and what can we expect from this meeting?
Well, for King Abdullah, this is going to be one of his most challenging meetings of his reign. Will Trump hold that aid? It's about $1.5 billion a year. Trump says that Abdullah and Egypt's President el-Sisi will take in the Palestinians because of the leverage that he's going to use with this aid. Egypt, on its side, has called for an emergency Arab summit later this month over Trump's vision over Gaza and to relocate the Gazans. They may present alternatives to President Trump, but a very, very important meeting with President Trump, King Abdullah, to see what Jordan's going to do and decide whether or not they will take some of these Palestinians into their country.
All right, Chris, always appreciate the clarity you bring. Thanks for being with us.